Hello and welcome back to Redirecting. Thanks to the viewer who shared these stories with me. I have a couple that I'm going to be covering. But anyway, this is more news out of Africa, where apparently there is a dispute over a dam between Ethiopia and Egypt. And I think some very sharp words are being shared here. I'm going to read the article, and then, of course, I'm going to add my 2 cents as well. It says, Ethiopia's Nobel Peace Prize winning prime minister warned Tuesday that if there's a need to go to war over a dam project disputed with Egypt, his country could muster millions of people. But he said only negotiations can resolve the current deadlock. Egypt's government said it was shocked by the remarks. Wow. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed spoke during a parliament question and answer session, his most prominent public appearance since winning the Nobel on October 11th. On Wednesday, he and Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi are expected to meet on the sidelines of a Russia-Africa summit in the Russian city of Sochi. Abiy also defended his Nobel win after some have debated whether he deserved it. Some individuals are finding it hard to accept about the Nobel Peace Prize. It's already given to Abiy, and it won't be taken away from him. That's it. This is a dead issue. Now our focus should be on how to motivate other youths to win the prize. People who will continue to dwell on this are wasting their time. The 43-year-old, who was awarded the prize for sweeping political reforms and for making peace with longtime rival Eritrea, after taking office last year, faced lawmakers' questions about a number of sensitive issues, notably the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. Talks collapsed earlier this month over the construction of the $5 billion dam, the largest in Africa, which is around 70% complete and is expected to provide much-needed electricity to Ethiopia's 100 million people. Egypt, with a similar population, fears the Nile Dam will reduce its share of the river and leave the country with dwindling options as it seeks to protect the main source of fresh water. Pro-government media in Egypt have cast the issue as a national security threat that could warrant military action. Some say things about use of force by Egypt. It should be underlined that no force could stop Ethiopia from building a dam. Ethiopia's prime minister said, if there's a need to go to war, we could get millions readied. If some could fire a missile, others could use bombs, but that's not in the best interest of us all. Abiy stressed that his country is determined to finish the dam project, which was initiated by former leaders, because it's an excellent one. Egypt's government said in a statement it was shocked by Abiy's remark and called it inappropriate to talk about military options. It also said it has accepted a U.S. invitation for a meeting in Washington between the foreign ministers of the countries plus Sudan to break the deadlock. It was not clear when the meeting would occur. Posing another major challenge for Ethiopia's prime minister are the country's deadly ethnic tensions, as people once stifled by repression now act as long-held grievances. Some 1,200 people have been killed and more than 1 million displaced in the greatest challenge yet to Abiy's rule. Okay, I guess it's just a little bit more here, so I'm going to continue the article and then I'll add my 2 cents. Some observers warn that the unrest could grow ahead of next year's election in May. Abiy told lawmakers his hopes the vote will take place according to schedule, and that a flawless process is not the goal. He previously said the election would be free and fair. A record budget has been approved, and the electoral body is set up by making it as independent as possible. There are some voices who are calling for the postponement, but that's not convincing. The Prime Minister said, adding that a democratic process cannot be halted because electoral violence is feared. The government is ready to hand over power to anyone that comes out as a winner, Abiy said. In response to questions about the ethnic violence raging across the East African nation, he said that there are individuals and groups that are trying to stay relevant through the years by instigating violence among the public. The youth should wake up and face them. He expressed his hope that the situation will calm down soon. Okay. So now what I want to talk about here is the first thing that I wanted to note. Okay, of course, this is a very serious issue, and I can understand and see where Egypt is coming from on this. I also wanted to weigh in on the fact that America is offering to mediate. I'm like, keep these people out of your business, Africa. Allowing them to mediate is just like saying we need our papa, our colonial papa, to come and help us because we don't know what to do on our own. That's just my thinking on it. Why should America mediate anything when they are the ones who instigate much of the tensions that we see rising around the world? Okay. Also, the fact that this dam is something that is supposed to improve the economy of Ethiopia, I understand their position as well. There are two sides to each. There's two sides to this coin, and I see where Ethiopia is needing and wanting to improve their economy, and I see where Egypt is saying, "Look, well, you improving your economy on a body of water that is shared is going to harm our economy." And so these are the things that wars are made of. When you have one nation that is doing something that could affect another nation, this is how wars are created, you see. And so I can certainly see and understand both sides in this because Africa is growing. It is definitely growing. Everyone wants their piece of the pie, and everyone is grabbing their piece of the pie. It's unfortunate that Africa doesn't really own itself. And I say doesn't, I'm referring to the African people. Much of what's happening in Africa is being funded or financed by foreign nations, you see. And these foreign nations are building up the infrastructure, not for the people of the continent. Many of us continue to say that because we see it for what it is. You can just look at how the majority of the African population is living. Of course, there are some wealthy people there. There are some people that are doing extremely well there. But the highest percentage of Africa is still owned by foreign powers. Okay. And so when I see the building up of Africa, of course, it's exciting to see the infrastructure falling into place. But who is funding all of this? Who is behind the scenes making it all happen? Those are going to be the ones who are going to control what happens on the continent. And this is why we continue to see story after story where some foreign power has come in, has done this and done that, and is strong at arming the people, controlling the people, ruling the people, mistreating the people. We continue to see these stories because this is what is happening. And as long as African leaders continue to allow outsiders to come in and to dominate and set up infrastructure and to build and to buy and to do all of these things, we will continue to see even disputes arising among the African nations or the African leaders. These disputes come as a result of outside interference. And I would say the inability of the African people or population to run and rule its own resources. It is what it is, family. It is what it is. I just wanted to touch on this story because it was shared with me. And of course, we are all deeply interested in what is happening on the continent. Okay? With that, family, I will say shalom. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel. And also comment, share, like, and subscribe.